Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Sunday NSU TTS Sunday Fun Day League event, the final event in what has been a four or five event long series, hosted and organized by our very own RWB. With me tonight, I've got RWB Cos in the commentary booth, who has decided to step up to the plate and have a crack at commentating tonight. Thank you so much for coming along and supporting me tonight, Cos. How you doing? How you feeling?
Good man, yeah. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you loud and clear, mate. I just missed my push to talk button. Yep, feeling good, feeling fine. I've had a little bit of a nap just before the racing started, so I'm just shaking out the cobwebs, as it were, and getting up to speed and getting settled in and getting ready for what should be another fun and exciting, action-packed race at Stowe's Long. So, have you done any laps around Stowe's at all recently?
Yeah, I've done a few laps in different cars. I don't like it personally, especially in the NSUs, because some of the corners are a bit twisty and the NSUs tends to want to spin out on you. So I thought, nah, I'll just end up getting in the way.
So he just took a pragmatic approach and decided to bow out and let the other guys have at it, as it were, which is it's very.
I call it considerate racing, others would call it chickening out, but whatever.
There's no harm in being considerate at the end of the day, and you get to come along and watch the guys race live and obviously commentate on the action. So it should be an interesting. I personally quite like commentating because it's an opportunity to add something to the club, but also but still be involved in in the racing and to give something back to the club. So I'm sure everybody will appreciate you coming along tonight and giving up your time to commentate.
Yeah, it's interesting being on the other end of it, because it's been great listening to everybody commentating over the weeks for the different leagues, from Tiger to FX and Draco and yourself. It's really adds a level of depth to the club and everything. So it's in. Except my volume's really loud in game. I have to turn the volume down somehow.
No problemos. Well, while you're sorting that out, we'll have a little rundown, shall we, through the table. So we've got 19 guys racing so far. Still 9 minutes of qualifying to go. This is an open lobby, so there's an opportunity for people to jump in. Randomers from the public domain to come and join us at RWB and race with us on stream live. So if there's anybody out there watching right now, you can join this race and you can get in on the action. So let's have a little rundown, shall we? So currently holding pole position in qualifying is RWB Helmet. Helmet had a couple of good races last weekend, actually. I'm pretty sure he finished in the sort of top 10 both races. He did have a couple of incidents with a few randomers that we had in, but he's a very strong contender in the NSU TTS, and it's no surprise to see him up on pole. Speaking of little surprises, we've got Luca Gray in tonight, so Squid Flipper, Squid Titter, Squid Licker. He again right up there, right up at the top. Luca, he always does really well in this in the NSU TTS, and he has been. I think he's leading this championship at the moment with a fairly comfortable lead. And last weekend he managed to pull off quite the feat. He started on the second race. Obviously, we have a reverse grid, and he started way back in like 22nd, 23rd, and managed to finish in second place. So he managed to gain 20 positions over the course of 20 minutes. which is quite some feat.
He's a very good driver. Like Tiger said, he could be a future racing driver, not talking sim race.
Yeah, if he gets his head down and gets his nose down to the grindstone, he could definitely make something of himself, I think. But moving on. So we've got Mark Bean. So Mark Bean has taken that top spot for now from Helmet. So Mark Bean flying around in the blue livery. Definitely one to watch. Bean is no slouch, no matter what. He's what's the word? He's very consistent, Bean. So it doesn't matter what he's driving. He could be driving the NSUs, the F1 cars, the GT3s. He's always up there, and he's always bringing it to the top guys. So it's good to see him out there.
Yeah, he's a very good driver, Bean. See him in iRacing, he'd be up there with the top 3.
Good stuff. Watching RWB Orange right now in the orange and white livery. Orange, I believe, actually plays on a controller, cause can you believe that? He's actually in 4th position right now in qualifying with a 59.325, and he's managed that on a controller, which is quite extraordinary.
Well, most of us used controllers to start racing, PlayStations. I started on the PlayStation with the Codemaster games, and it wasn't till Simbim's games came out that I got a Thrustmaster wheel and then progressed from a controller. But yeah, I did all the Toka games, early Toka games, Grid Autosport on a controller, then progressed to a wheel. So it's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember playing endless amounts, hundreds of hours of Gran Turismo on the PlayStation, on the controller, and not thinking anything of it. But yeah, clearly this guy's got some talent, and if he does one day get a wheel, maybe he'll be even faster. So he's definitely one to watch tonight. Watching Beer then, RWB Beer in the pits right now, obviously having a beer from the looks of it. He's just chilling out, putting his feet up.
He doesn't drink.
It must be an ex-drinker then,
I'd say so.
Maybe he works in the industry. Maybe he's just promoting. Maybe he works for Wetherspoons and he's promoting the beer. But yeah, good to see Beer out there. Another one to watch.
Yeah, another good driver.
Eric Bowman then. So Eric Bowman, a Swedish fellow. He not actually hooked up with Bowman, had any sort of conversations with him previously, but he has been a stalwart as far as I can remember for this league. He was here last weekend, and he's here again this weekend. So he's clearly clocked on to the fact that we're these NSU TTS races are going on, and he's out there again, qualifying in a nice steady 7th position, and again looking for good things from him. So down in 8th then with a 59.6, we've got RWB Ferguson. So Ferguson just back from a month-long hiatus after suffering some PC technical issues. He's he hooked up with Pinpoint, who sorted him out with some bits, and he's now back. This is his second weekend back in the saddle, he's holding his own out there in an 8th position. He actually managed to come 3rd in the second race last weekend. So, again, another one to watch. You got anything to say about Fergie?
Oh yeah, he's a very good driver. In fact, it's sickening how many great drivers we have, actually.
Including yourself, obviously.
No, I'm not. I mean, I always used to think I was crap because I end up kind of, mid-pack or at the back most of the time. But, obviously we have so many great drivers, quality drivers, and the odd alien or two thrown in the mix. So, if you can get to mid-pack with these guys, you're doing all right.
That's really well said. Yeah. There's lots of hardcore sort of sim enthusiasts. They might not be the fastest in the world, but they're definitely fast. They'll give you a good race, a good, clean, fair race as well, for the most part.
Oh yeah.
So we're just looking at Marco Cherdron then. So not a name I recognise, unfortunately, but he's sporting the turquoise livery, and we'll keep an eye on him. We'll see how he gets on. A new face to me. He may have raced again previously in previous races. I just can't remember him, so we'll keep an eye out for him. Down in 11th then, we've got David Oliveira racing for Red Suns in the orange livery. Again, another fresh face as far as I can tell, holding a nice steady 11th with a 59.8. Interestingly, the spread from first to 11th is a second, so there's only a second between first and 11th. So clearly, it's going to be a fairly tight race tonight.
Yeah, and defaults has a big role to play in that, I'd say. The fact that you can't change anything apart from your brake pressure and bias. So it's a level playing field to everybody.
Yeah, an opportunity for some of the. Well, this is it. It's Sunday fun day. You rock up, you turn up, you jump in the car, you adjust your brake pressure, and then you get out there and you drive. And we know a good setup can be worth a second, 2 second extra on the track. So and the guys obviously who have more time and more and are able to commit more time and to dedicate more time to sim racing tend to have an advantage over the guys that have less time when it comes to setup. And so having default setups is a great way to level that playing field. We were just watching Nigel Wood then as the qualifying board has popped up. There is still 30 seconds of qualifying left to go, but we just want to give a big shout out to Nigel Wood, RWB. Is it Ninja? Or it's not RWB Ninja, but I think it's called. He's taken the name Ninja in other Raceroom communities. But big shout out to Nigel, who is who won a race last weekend. He won the second race, and he was on for a good result in the first race, but ended up having an off. So big shout out to Nigel, and hopefully we'll be able to get some coverage for some of the guys who are a little bit further down the field. So qualifying is up then. 3 minutes of warm-up, an opportunity for everybody to chill out, have a little relax before we settle in for what is going to be essentially a 20-minute race. 20-minute race 1, and then another 20-minute race 2 with a reverse grid order. So the guys who are at the front for race 1 will be at the back for race 2. And race 2 tends to be a little bit more chaotic as the faster guys catch up to the slower guys in front of them. But yeah, 2 minutes to go. How are you feeling about this then, Cos?
Yeah, excited. In fact, I'm going to have to nip to the laddies' room. I'll be right.
All right. Just go in the corner, mate. That's where Tiger and Speed go. They just go anywhere they want. This sweaty, horrible commentary box is, a forensic nightmare. Right, let's get a little bit of track info up. And I can't find any track information. Let's have a look. Stowe. Well, I think the interesting thing is Stowe is at Silverstone. So Stowe is actually a sort of smaller inner track that forms, that is part of the sort of wider, larger Silverstone circuit. I guess Stowe is more of a learner's track, perhaps. Maybe they have track days and racing events for junior members of the racing community. But yes, it's actually inside, built within the borders of the Silverstone. The Silverstone track. So FX has just popped up, said he's not racing, so may post to stay. Have a look at somebody, depending on race chat. Got Thor's hammer at the ready. Cool, nice to have you on board, FX. Thanks for joining in and helping us out. We've had a message from Ragnar Crockben. It's a great stream. You should watch out for E-Bowman, a really good driver, a rising star with some high-end equipment. Yep, we'll keep an eye on him then, Ragnar. Thanks for the tip-off. Right, so warm-up is done. We've got 35 seconds of garage time left to go. And the guys will be, quickly jumping back in the rig after going to the little boys' room. And we are now ready to go. Red lights. We're about to start race 1, 20 minutes then of the NSUTTS at Stowe Long. And they're off. So up in front then, we've got Helmet in the red livery, followed by Bean in the blue. We're followed by Luca Gray in the orange, with a little bit of contact coming into T1 there between Luca and Mark Bean, but it looks like they managed to keep it fairly tidy. You got Taha Mali there in the white and blue, followed by Rodders in the white, red and green, forming that top 5 pack. They seem to be pulling away fairly well. Yep, not too much jostling going on. Let's just get on the TV cameras with Helmet. So following Helmet then in first place. Looks like he's holding his position nicely. Coming into this sort of tight right-hander into another left-hander here. So 90-degree right into a 90-degree left into another 90-degree right into a hairpin left coming up just here. So, yep, hairpin left. It sort of swoops back on itself with Luca getting very tight on the inside there, looking to challenge Helmet on the inside, but didn't manage to make it stick. Helmet's managed to pull away as they come over the line for lap 1. So 18 minutes, 52 to go, and all to play for still. Luca challenging. Let's get on board with Luca's. And this is Luca challenging Helmet, coming into, well, one of the left-handers. This is now coming down the back straight. There's an opportunity down here to get the guy in front on the brakes. Will Luca pull out to the left here and try and... So, yeah, here he is. He's pulling on the left. Having a little sniff on the inside, but not quite close enough to make anything of it. As Helmet gets the back end out and drifts that NSUTTS and beautifully around that corner, with Luca just sticking to him and not letting him get away. Watching El O'Brien there, got a little bit of grass, getting a little bit untidy, but down in 11th place. It looks like he's managed to hold on to that position. Just as we see a little bit of contact there from the guys behind. Looks like nobody's come off worse for wear with that, though. It's just a little bit of door rubbing in these NSUTTS cars. So good stuff, action-packed as we expected.
Yeah, that's what put me off. That massive oversteer, the back end, and it kind of oversteers loads, and it will spin out if you're going too fast for a corner.
Yeah, you got to be.
That's what happened there. He's lost it a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be nice and careful with these things, and whilst the back end's out and spinning, whilst the back end's out and sliding, one little nudge can send the car into a spin, and you're going to lose a position or two. And it doesn't look as though there's a huge amount of overtaking opportunities here. It's just about racing consistently and fast, and if you're going to make a move, hoping that the guy in front of you makes a mistake to let you through. Doesn't look like there's a huge amount of long braking zones to dive up the inside, but Luca challenging Helmet. He's sticking to him there. It looks like he's managed to almost got side by side there as he looks to come around on the outside and get a cutback. He might get the drive, but it looks like Helmet's managed to hold a nice tight line there, and that obviously meant Luca had to slow down. Luca's definitely eager to get past Helmet as we get on the wing with Luca right now, with Helmet, sorry. So that's Luca there in the orange and black stripes. This is the rear end of Helmet looking back. There we go. This is the rear of Helmet. So there we are. We can see Luca chasing him down, but not able to make anything. As we see Taha Mali there, this is off the back of Luca. Taha Mali challenging Mark Bean in third place there. This is absolutely crazy. There's lots of challenging going on. Following Marco Cherdron, then the guy that we obviously didn't know too much about, having a little watch. Looks like he's having a good old battle with the guy in front, G Casal, and Brujes behind. The gap was fairly close. It looked like they were having a bit of a challenge. Is he going up the left-hand side of Casal there, and it looks like he's managed to get around him on the inside, coming into this sweeping left-hander. So well done, Cherdron. You've managed to gain a position there and hold on. And well done. Eric Bowman then. So we had a little tip off in chat saying Eric Bowman was one to watch. He's holding a nice steady 8th position, challenging RWB Orange there, who we can see in the white and orange livery. These guys seem to be having a good tough race. The field is fairly still well compressed. You know, we've got the guys from 1 to 5th holding their own, but then we've got 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. All battling out for that 6th position with RWB Beer holding the front with Orange in 7th, Bowman in 8th, and Ferguson in 9th.
Pretty clean so far. I haven't seen any ridiculous moves.
Yeah, it's been a fairly clean race. It seems as though these cars seem fairly well suited to this track. So just watching Ferguson then. Ferguson seems to have got back into the swing of things really well. You know, he was off for a month and now he's challenging for 8th position with Bowman. It's good to see him back. It looks like he's just got a slow down penalty though, so he's had to give up some time, and that's let O'Brien through. RWB O'Brien, who's now up into 9th position, and Nigel Wood, who is also one to watch, has also got past Ferguson as well. So Ferguson's dropped down from 9th to 11, which is unfortunate. That's a bit of commentator's curse maybe, as we show the cameras on him and then it all goes to pot. Let's have a little catch up with the front runners then. Looks like Helmut's managed to pull a small, a slightly larger gap. He's 1 second ahead of Luca then, whereas Luca was sort of stuck on his rear end. Helmut's managed to get a little bit of clean air behind him, and is slowly but surely pushing away. But as I say that, it looks as though Luca's managed to close that 1 second gap down to half a second. So he's really pushing to catch back up with Helmut. But Helmut, no slouch. He'll put up a good old fight, and he'll make sure that Luca's working for every inch that he gets. As you see him just get a little bit untidy into that right-hander there, and that's obviously costing some time. It looks like Mark Bean is challenging from behind. Let's get a wider shot. Oh no, that's Taha Mali. Taha Mali is round Mark Bean from 4th into 3rd, and he's now challenging Luca on the inside, and he just manages to push it up the inside. There's a little bit of door rubbing there, a bit of a bully move, but he's managed to make it stick. He didn't force Luca off the track. It was just a bit. As we see them come to blows again, so looks like Luca's not wanting to give up that position, but Taha Mali's got the inside line. He's just got to keep it nice and tight on the exit, and that's caused Luca to have to slow down a little bit. But that battle has meant that Helmut has now managed to pull a 2.2 second gap. So I'm sure he's thinking, keep it up, guys, just keep battling.
Chance away, lads, is saying.
Yeah, you guys duke it out and duel all you want. I'm just going to keep charging away, and he's now pulled 2.8 seconds, so he's approaching a 3-second gap now. So these guys battling behind him is doing him a massive favour. Looks as though Taha Mali's managed to hold on to that position as we see Luca get a little bit tight there, and he's actually got a slowdown penalty for going off track limits. And we can see Rodders behind him has also just got a slowdown penalty. But Rodders has actually managed to get around Mark Bean. So Rodders was in 5th position when Rodders was in 4th, and now Rodders is now up into 4th. So Mark Bean's going down the pack, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd say these cars are very difficult to push on this tight, twisty circuit. You've got to be precise and gentle around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's not a comment, obviously, on not being gentle, but it does mean that one small mistake, one nudge, and you're going to lose a position or two. And just as we see Bean there grab a little bit of grass, and get the rear end sort of out. But looks as though, so watching now Taha Mali, so we spoke about Helmut pulling away that 2.8 second gap. That gap is now down to, well, I say it's down, it's gone back up to 2.8 now. But look, as we see Luca challenging up the inside there, but he's not managed to make that stick. As he tries to get a switchback, as he pushes out wide on the exit, trying to carry as much speed as possible to try and get the drive up the inside of Taha. He's right on the tail. If he's going to make a move, this is the place to do it. So we'll get on board with Luca sniffing Taha's exhaust fumes, as it were, as Taha sort of slides it in there and drifts. Probably a little bit too much drift there, and might have lost a bit of time, as we see them both grab a generous amount of grass there, sort of playing with track limits as much as they dare, trying to keep two wheels on the track to avoid a penalty. As we see Luca push out a little bit wide there, and it looks as though he's actually exceeded track limits and has now lost out on that position. So I will say, Cos, feel free. Do you know how to work the cameras?
I don't know. This is my first time, so I'm looking at the options here. So director suggestions.
So you got auto direct. So we're in auto direct mode now. So we click on auto direct, and that just basically controls the cameras. Yeah. But you can see we've got cams forward and cams rear on the table, and you can select any of those that you like. So you can see. So look at Beer here. Look. So here's Beer. We can see Beer has got a small gap. He's challenging O'Brien there for eighth position. So a good amount of action going here. As we see, oh no, there's a bit of lag, I think there. That was a bit weird. Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of lag out there. Looked as though Beer had lost the rear end, but actually no, it was all fine. So, okay. But yeah, feel free to take control of the cameras. If there's anything that you feel you want to comment on, then by all means, click the camera and have at it, mate.
Yeah, to be honest, it'd probably be best to learn the director modes in private rather than contaminate the stream with me learning stuff.
No worries, mate. No worries. That's absolutely fine. So we've got a question from Ragnar Crockben in YouTube chat. What does it take to be an RWB driver? Well, the number one thing for becoming an RWB member is a commitment to racing clean and fair. So, obviously we understand that, people make mistakes and people do end up, hitting people or whatever. But as long as you are committed to improving racecraft and racing clean, then you will be welcomed. You don't have to be fast, although it does help if you want to win leagues and you want to take part in championships and things. But there is no requirement that you have a certain amount of pace. everyone is welcome so long as you race clean. Would you have anything to add on to that, Cos?
I would add, we're very strong on, if you make a mistake and take someone out, the best thing to do is to apologise straight away, because that can diffuse a really tense situation, rather than not saying anything, and people can, boil away in their heads and end up doing silly things because they think the person did it deliberately or they don't care. So that's why we stress crew chief, so you can let people know there's an accident, sorry about that, my bad. That can diffuse the whole situation very quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. There are a few rules and things that are in place about some of the sort of tech and software that we use. Crew chief being the main one, because obviously crew chief has a spotter function that will say, hey, there's a guy behind you, hey, there's a guy on your right, there's a guy on your left, so on and so forth. And that just allows you to take that clean and fair racing craft to the next level, and it gives you an extra sort of a bit of assistance and to help you be a cleaner racer.
I actually meant Discord. I got my apps mixed up. Discord is the one because you can just communicate straight away.
Yeah. So we also use Discord as well. So yeah, if you've got Discord, there should be a Discord link in the RWB in this stream. If not, I can get it for you. And just pop along to our Discord server, say hi, say hello. There's an application process. You fill out the application process, and we'll get you in for a race. So we race Mondays. We race. We have league events on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. As RWB International is linked.
Was that
RWB
Bill took out Cheridon accidentally?
Looks like he's had a little bit of an accident. But let's get back to the racing. So we've got 4 minutes left to go. So let's catch up now. Let's have a little rundown. So in the lead right now, holding that position with Taha Mali on his rear is Helmut with 4 minutes to go. In second place then, we've got Taha Mali, who we know is incredibly fast in these cars, and he's definitely, done. He's pulled off a little bit of a mini miracle here and managed to catch up to Helmut, who had a huge gap not 5 minutes ago and is now challenging for the lead. In third place, Luca Gray, Squid Flipper. Seems that he's fallen off the pace a little bit, but he has managed to pull away from Rodders, who's way back there in fourth. So Luke has managed to get himself into no man's land, and it looks like he's holding a comfortable third. Rodders then leading this pack of 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. He's holding on. He's running a good old race, and he's obviously defending well against Orange, who are now watching. So this is Orange as we see them come to blows as Orange throws it up the inside. That's obviously interrupted Rodders as we see Mark Bean also challenging Rodders. It looks like Mark Bean's had a little slap on the inside there as well. As Rodders pushing up, he's held the inside line. He's pushing. Three guys there, and Rodders is on the grass. As we see Mark slam into RWB Orange there, and Mark Bean has now been taken out, and he is out of that challenge. Oh, what an exciting bit of racing.
I think Beans was a burnt meat in that sandwich, wasn't he?
Yeah, he come off worse on that one, unfortunately. But Rodders is down from 4th into 5th with Orange now up 1 position. Right behind them then, who was just seeing that unfolding in front of him, was O'Brien. I'm sure he's glad that he wasn't mixed up in that one then. So, O'Brien running a good steady race in 6th place. And in 7th, we've got Eric Bowman. So Bowman was the one to watch, as it was pointed out by Ragnar Krockben in the chat. He's doing a good old race. He's holding his own in 7th and fighting for position with Beer, who's now in 8th position. So well done, Beer, holding his own. And in 9th, we've got Nigel Wood, who seems to be having a bit of a rough ride of it tonight. He's just got a penalty there as well for abuse of track limits, unfortunately. So keep it on the grey stuff, Nige, and we're hoping for good things from you in the next race. Someone we didn't see in the earlier rundown, Federico Vaz, is holding 10th place. And then we got Charismo Cassell
Finally,
in 11th. Yeah, they're having a bit of a battle with Bean, is it? No, with Nigel. Bean, then, who we saw come to loggerheads with Rodders and Orange, is now down in 12th position. RWB Marco is holding a nice steady 13th with some clear air. Looks like he's just running a nice steady race, not getting involved in any shenanigans. And right behind him is Rick Binnisley, who's chasing him down with a 2-second gap. And the old man, RWB Charger, the one of our honchos at RWB and the organizer of this league. He's the one that's put this together, and I must say it's been a smash success, and it's been a lot of fun to commentate on. So nice one, Charger. And we've got a few more to run down, but I'm going to get back to the lead now because we've got 30 seconds to go. As we can see Helmet holding his first position from Taha Mali, who's still challenging. So we had that rundown over the course of 2 to 3 minutes. He's not managed to make anything of it as we go on board with Taha Mali then coming over the line. So this is the penultimate lap, coming into the ultimate lap as they go over with 10 seconds to go. So this will be the final lap then. So if Taha Mali is going to make something happen, now is the time.
very good drive from Taha there. He's a very good driver. To catch Helmet up, it's about 5-second gap he had earlier.
Yeah, he was way back, and I think he qualified 6th or 7th, and now he's in second place, holding the inside line in second place, challenging for first. He's going to have the inside line. Is he going to make a dive of it? It looks like he's done it. He's come to blows with Helmet there. Looks like there's a bit of contact there, and as he bullies his way past, Helmet probably not going to be happy about that. But this is
looked like a clean move from my point.
Yeah, it's not like he bashed it into him. It's just a little bit of rub-in. But looks as though Taha's managed to make that stick as we see them coming around the final corner then. So our winner is Taha Mali, no surprise, with Helmet, unfortunately, holding that second place, with Luca Gray coming through in third. RWB Orange just coming over the line, then around the final corner in fourth place, followed by RWB Rodders, followed by O'Brien, followed by Beer, Eric Bowman then in 8th, Nigel Wood in 9th, Vaz in 10th, Cassell 11th, 12th is Bean. So it was a huge pack from 6th to 12th. They all came over at more or less the same time. RWB Marco then coming over the line in 13th. Rick Binnisley in the yellow and red in 14th. The old man Charger in 15th, with Marco Chedron bringing up the rear in 16th. And Antti Fostrom, somebody who we didn't see earlier, bringing up the rear in 17th, followed by our RWB John D in 18th. And that is that. And the fastest lap and the win goes to Taha Mali. So what do we think about all that, Cos?
Very good, yeah. Impressive. Helmet had a clear lead for a while there, mid-race, and the lads caught up. Luca went backwards for a bit, but he ended up third, which is cool.
I think Luca fell prey to the usual thing of having a few too many off tracks and penalties, and that's obviously what's cost him that time. I know we said earlier that he's fast, but he's very aggressive when it comes to track limits. And unfortunately, it looks as though he's paid the price tonight and ended up out of. He's done well. He's got himself a third, but he was contending for the podium for the lead. So just tidy it up a little bit, Luca, and you'll get it. You'll win.
He did get mugged by Taha and someone else at the early stage. He was too busy trying to fend them off and battling with the people behind him. That's how Helmet got away.
Oh yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah, but Taha managed to catch up. Taha, once he got that clean air and wasn't battling, he managed to make that gap up. So, but anywho, no worries. There's 2 minutes of warm up still to go then, and then we're starting race 2, which will be a reverse order of the qualifying results. So, if you qualified first, aka Helmet, you will now be starting at the back in what would be 18th position Looks as though we've had a few dropouts since the first race, so they've gone down from 22 runners down to 18th. And this is when things get interesting and a little bit chaotic. So there will be, there's very little clear air in the reverse order race. And so we have to give the vocal cords a little rest, as it were, as we move into 1 minute of warm up left. So I'm just going to go silent, have a little swig of water, and make a little trip to the little boys' room. I'll be right back. What happened? Have I missed out?
No, it's just warm up.
So warm up is done. We're now progressing into garage time then. So the guys have got 60 seconds to make their minds up before they get onto the grid. And we'll be heading for red lights within the next 40 seconds. Do you want to take the lead on the next one, Cos? I'll control the cameras, but you can have a chance to give it the old jibber jabber.
I'll have a go. I'm just trying to trawl in the internet there, Wikipedia and that, looking for information on Stowe Circuit. It's very hard to find any concise information. It just keeps taking it to Silverstone, and you have to trawl through all the information to find any reference to Stowe.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same problem I had. Is it's Silverstone, so it comes with all the Silverstone baggage, as it were. So red lights, then take it away, cars. They're about to get off.
Okay, John D in the lead, obviously from the back of the last race. It's reverse grid, so it'll be interesting to see how the fast drivers are going to get through the slow drivers.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is going to be an action-packed race as we see lots of passing.
Oh, a couple of that was.
May have been Rodders potentially, or no? So that was Federico Vaz. It looks like he's running the same livery as Rodders, so it looks like he's had a bit of an off there. That's unfortunate.
Marco, maybe.
Yeah, followed by Marco. So RWB Marco is now hanging out at the back as well. So it looks like those guys came to blow and had a little bit of an off.
Oh, more incidents. 3 cars spinning out at the back there. That's the only problem when you got slower cars and the faster cars trying to get through. They tend to they're not spatially aware of the faster drivers.
Yeah, exactly.
Kerfuffles galore.
And so obviously, I'm not saying this is always the case, but you might have a faster driver who's not necessarily as patient as he should be, and it ends up pushing it up the inside when is in a rush to get ahead, and may end up making a mistake and coming to blows with someone.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I first started racing with people online. I used to make a lot of mistakes, until I got crew chief sorted out, and that just helps with spatial awareness, because the crew chief will tell you if someone's beside you, or if you're 3 abreast in the corner. Very useful tool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an invaluable tool, and it just gives you that spatial awareness. And there's also HUD like UI elements that I think SimHub has as well that can gives you like a little radar. Is that right? Is there like a little radar HUD?
There is in this game. Yeah, it's a proximity sensor, like a red radar. Yeah, that's quite good as well. It's hard to see it though half the time because you're just looking at the road. Crew chief helps immensely because if he's saying nothing, you can move left or right, and if he's saying left or right, then you can't.
So
Beer's doing well.
Yeah, Beer having a good old race there with Nigel Wood and Rodders. But yeah, Mark Bean then, who we saw have that sort of little accident, or incident as it were, as he was racing very hard in race 1, has managed to make his way into the lead past RWB John D, and already is pulling a 7, 8, 1 second, 1.1 second gap to John D. So he's absolutely flying at the front there, and if he can hold that together, I wouldn't be surprised if Bean can bring this one home. A little bit early to be saying that, obviously, but yeah, he's running a good old race right now.
Yeah, a long way to go yet, and you've got the front runners, Taha and that at the back, Helmet, Luca. They're all kind of back half of the group. Could all change.
Luca is now up into 9th position, then, so let's have a little catch up with Luca. So we know he's fast from the back. He's he's very good at getting through. A little bit exuberant, passionate, but he's clearly looking to make some moves. And as we see him go up into 8th position, looks like he's come to blows with somebody there. It might have been Beer, I think, as we see Beer go down into 10th place as Cassell takes him. So yeah, that's unfortunate. As we see, as that Helmet as well, Helmet in the red, just had a little bit of a knock there with Beer as well.
Oh, yeah, don't forget. Sorry, I was going to say Luke is only 14, so he's quite mature driver. He's improved a hell of a lot since he's been with us. He used to be really impetuous, and we kind of gave him a few looks and said, "Look, man, take it easy, and you'll get."
And you'll do well.
He's taken that on board, and he's doing very well.
Yeah, he's up into 8th position, but whilst we were talking about Luca and some of the guys at the back, we've seen a change in the lead. So John D is now back in the front, and Mark Bean has moved down into 3rd place. So we may have sort of counted our chickens a little early, as we see Mark Bean now down into 3rd. It looks like he's had a bit of an incident come off.
Yeah, I was going to say that because of the gap that John's got, he must have spun us or went wide.
That's really unfortunate. Bean does seem to have poor luck sometimes during these races.
But he likes his racing. I don't think he really minds. He just enjoys racing. He loves racing with us. He loves the crack. So if he does well, he's happy. If he doesn't do well, he's still happy.
Absolutely, yeah. And take nothing away from him. He's still a very strong, fast driver. Speaking of fast drivers, then Taha Mali, who, as we see Nigel Wood there, dive up the inside and lose a little, and Taha Mali gets the cut back there. Taha Mali down in 14th, so he's not managed to to push his way up the field like somebody like Luca has, who's now in 8th position. But running a good race. He was the winner from the previous race, who's now up into 15th.
He would have been right at the back, so he's gained 5 places. It's difficult to get through a pack this strong, with so many cars on a small circuit. Passing where.
As we see Luca get round Rodders there, looks like there was a bit of a shunt in the rear end of Rodders, sending him wide, and Luca squeezes through on the inside. Rodders will not be happy about that, I can guarantee it. As he's looking to challenge him now, he's pushing it wide. Looks like they've managed to get Cassell on the inside there, so Cassell moved down 2 positions as we see Luca and Rodders and Forstrom go through on the inside of Cassell, coming into that tight left-hander.
One thing I will say about these cars, it's very close racing. It's exciting close racing, like the Clios and the ilk,
As we see Rodders and Luca came to blows there, and it looks like they've both come off pretty poorly there, as Rodders is now down into 15th. Luca has actually managed to hold on to his position. I think he went off in the correct direction, got onto the grass, and then managed to get back on track, and is now into 6th place.
Yeah. if the Scottish did voodoo dolls, Rodders would have his pins out.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that at all. But moving swiftly on. So Orange is looking to challenge Fostrom then. So RWB Orange, our resident pad master, as it were, looking to challenge Fostrom then. So on board with RWB Orange, coming down the back straight into this fairly sort of fast sweeping left-hander. Is he going to get Fostrom on the brake? So no, he looks like he's tucking in nice and wide as we Fostrom's losing a bit of speed there. RWB Orange pushing out wider and carrying a bit more speed, but not having quite the same look with the entry coming into that right-hander and into the left, sticking to Fostrom all over. Fostrom getting very untidy. RWB Orange looking up the inside. He's pushing it. He's looking to squeeze his way through as he's got the outside line coming into this right-hander, but it's a right-hander coming up into a sort of S's chicane, and it looks like Fostrom's managed to hold that position, but some nice, action-packed racing, as I always say. I can't help myself. As we see, who's that? That's Chedron. That's Chedron got off onto the grass. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not Chedron. Oh yeah, it is Chedron. Sorry, yeah, Chedron. Yeah, Chedron got a bit of grass there, and looks like he's now down into 14th place.
Yeah, some respectful driving from Orange. I just noticed that he could have stuck it up the inside, even though it was illegitimate, but he didn't. He just bided his time. It's a mark of a good drive.
Yeah, he waited, didn't he? He didn't
patiently.
He didn't force it. He just bided his time, and he's actually through his past Fostrom now. Yeah.
What Luca was doing the first race, kept looking at helmet, having a look, That's good.
Let's have a little rundown then. So we've come to the halfway mark. Perfect opportunity to have a little rundown through our roster. So do you want to take it from here? I'll control the cameras because you give us the rundown.
Okay, so John D miles ahead. Beans back into second. That's good. Charger third. Luca fourth. Castle fifth. Rick Binnersley sixth. Helmet seventh. Beer eighth. Orange ninth. Bowman 10th, that's the top 10. And Taha's worked his way up to 11th, which is encouraging. 10 minutes to go, so it's doable. He could get some more places here quite easily.
Yeah, Taha's moved up 4 positions since we last saw him, so he's clearly making, and as we see him making a move on Bowman there, so Taha up another position past Bowman, up into 10th now.
Fergie's dropped out, as a couple dropped out. He wasn't doing very well the first race, so I think he probably got fed up.
Yep, so we've got Federico Vaz in 12th. We've got RWB O'Brien down in 13th. Chedron, who we saw up that off earlier, is down into 14th now. And
was that helmet hit the barrier there? Just saw a red car hit the tyres, spun around. Red car. I know, helmet's in 7th.
It might have been Nigel Woods. I think Nigel's now retired and is in the he's in the pits. And way back at the back then, surprise, surprise, is Rodders. So we saw Rodders come to blows with Luca earlier, and he's really paid the price and is way back down in 17th now, which is unfortunate. But he's chasing down RWB Marco then, so he's got a 0.6 second gap as that closes down to 1 second. As Rodders is getting all over the back as we see Marco get a little bit untidy coming into that penultimate corner, and Rodders goes around into 16th place. So, even though he's had a bit of poor luck, he's still on the grey stuff. And he
hasn't given up. That's a good sign. It means he's determined.
Absolutely. As we see then, more battling from Luca then. So Luca's up into 4th place. He's managed to push his way up the field as we see him now take 3rd from Casal, and he's on the rear of Charger.
Casal's got by Beans as well.
So on the bonnet, in the cockpit with Luca, as we see him go up the inside of Charger, a bit of door ribbon again there, but nothing
that
too
was Casal
major.
spinning out. Unlucky there, mate.
So let's get Casal on as we see him go down. So there, Cassel from what, 3rd, 4th now, all the way down into 13th. That's unfortunate, Cassel, but keep it on the grey stuff, keep pushing, and try and get some of those positions back. Looking at RWB Beer, then challenging Orange and Helmet. So we've got RWB Helmet. Well, we've got 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th here. Rick Binnisley in the red and yellow, holding 4th position, followed by Helmet in the red, followed by Beer in the white and blue, followed by RWB Orange in the orange and white, with Taha Mali bringing up the rear. So Taha up from that 14th place that we saw in earlier, up into 8th position now. It's just biding his time as we see. I think that was Orange getting a little bit untidy and is now lost that
getting a bit
position.
Scrappy there. I'm surprised they must not have crew chief on or something, some of them, because it's getting a bit scrappy.
Yeah, it's just balls to the wall. As we see, another bit of contact there from Helmet and Orange, it would seem. These guys are throwing caution to the wind and absolutely pushing these cars to the limit.
Taha's top of.
So Taha now up into 5th place there, now back down into 6th as we see Orange go up his right-hand side. So Orange now pushing past Beer. He's got the outside line coming into this fast left-hander, so he can be a little bit later on the brakes as we see him hold that racing line, but he's pushed wide, and that's giving Beer an opportunity to push up on the left as we see Beer pushing wide again into the right-hander, but he's got the inside line as we see Orange come to blows with him, and Taha Mali's just holding back and watching this all unfold in front of him as we see Beer hold on to that 4th position. Orange pushing wide again as Taha looks to sniff up the inside. Orange has got the inside line coming into this right-hander into the chicane as we see Taha sort of duck out and hold off. So, yeah.
Very good racing there, actually. That's much better.
Yeah, much better. Nice and tidy. The guys ducking out and giving each other the room. And not taking too many crazy risks as we see Orange push incredibly wide coming into that right-hander, and he's lost a bit of time there as we see Taha Mali go through from 6th into 5th. So he's running a hell of a race. So he's now made his way from 18th into 5th place.
Yeah, I did say he would gain his ground very quickly, given the opportunity anyway. And John D hanging on. He's got a 7-second gap to Bill. That's very good. Rick Binnisley 3rd.
Looks as though a bit of breaking news, as it were. It looks like Luca Gray has actually been kicked from the server for potentially one of those incidents that we saw earlier. But hopefully we'll get a report from someone, and we'll get a little bit of information as to what happened there. But yeah, Luca is out of the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, might have got the black flag for unavoidable incident.
Yeah, he was pushing very hard during that race, and we did see him come to blows with Rodders, and we know Rodders doesn't take any crap, as it were. So you've got to be careful.
Got to be in it to win it.
So watching Helmet then in the red livery as he pushes up the inside of Orange there. These guys fighting and scrapping for that sort of 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th position. And we've got a train of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars coming down the straight then with 3.5 minutes to go and all to play for. These guys are now going to be throwing this car in, trying to gain a few more positions. We see Orange trying to push it up the inside of Helmet. Another small amount of contact, but nothing too crazy with Federico Vaz looking to catch up to these guys and challenge for that 6th place.
As Bill often says, Robbins racing.
Robbins is racing indeed, as we see somebody go off there. Who was that? I think it was Taha Mali. So Taha Mali has moved down. He's lost that sort of fourth position, is now down into 9th. That's unfortunate, Taha. Keep it on the grey stuff, lad, and just keep your head down. So following John D, then our current race leader, so RWB John D has pulled a nice, comfortable 7-second gap. He's running away with it, and he's managed to pull a huge gap there with Charger in second place. Then so Charger holding off Rick Binnisley coming into this right-hander. Rick Binnisley, you can see there in the red and yellow. Chargers held a nice, comfortable second position this race. We did see him come to blows with Bean earlier on in the race, with Bean now out due to technical issues, and I think he had a bit of an off as well. But yeah, Charger running a phenomenal race in this race too.
Yeah, it's his style of driving. He loves being able to shut the back end out and throw it into a corner and drift it around a little bit. He likes that loose back end action.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does like that back end action. Oops, PG. So watching Orange then. So Orange and Helmet, the scrap for fourth place. Orange Helmet in front in the red livery. Just ahead of those two guys, we can see Rick Binnisley, and just ahead of him, we can see Charger. We come into this fast left-hander off after the back straight. A small bump there from Orange on the back of Helmet, but nothing too crazy as we come into this tight right-hander into the left-hander. Helmet getting plenty of track limits there. Orange sticking with him though, doing well to keep up with this guy on a controller, and just behind Orange we can see Beer there in the blue and white livery, followed by Federico Vaz. 40 seconds to go then, so let's just catch up with John D, see where John D is.
I think Helmet would be pleased tonight. He's had a good run tonight.
He has, hasn't he? I think he had a good race in the first race, and he's also done particularly well in this second race as well. So yeah, Helmet's having and he did really well in qualifying as well, didn't he?
Taha's dropped back down to 14 now. Must have had another incident, another officer.
It looks as though Taha has actually retired, which is unfortunate. So Taha Mali out of the race. But catching up with John D, then we've got four seconds to go before the end of this race. So this is the final lap then, as we see RWB John D take the win here at Stowe in race 2 of the NSUTTS TTS race. So congratulations to RWB John D, as we see Charger, the organizer of this league, come over in second, with Rick Binnisley bringing up third, Helmet in fourth, Orange in fifth, RWB Beer in sixth, Federico Vaz in seventh, with O'Brien in eighth, Marco Cherdron in ninth, Rodders bringing it up in 10th, Bowman in 11th, Casal in 12th, and Antti Forstrom in 13th. So a good 13th place, third place to 12th place all came over the line at the same time, at practically the same time in a train. So yeah, what a hell of a race. So we've got John D the winner, Taha Mali with the fastest lap.
Yeah, good to see some of our guests as well doing quite well. It's encouraging for them, to just turn up, and there's a few random guests, in the top 10.
I see. I've just been informed that Luca wasn't kicked. It may have been a lag spike that caused him to be auto-kicked, or possibly auto-kicked or lost connection from the server. But we've been asked about interviews. So who should we pull down, Cos? Who do you want to have a chat with? So we've got a choice of Fora, who actually, I think he's not available for a chat. We've got Orange, who we've spoken to before, and Beer, Charger, O'Brien, Helmet. Should we get Helmet down?
Yeah, he's had a good race.
Helmet's had a really good race, so let's get Helmet down. So we're just going to move into interviews then. So I'm just going to bring Helmet down now.
Default setups, Charge.
Hello, Helmet. So just letting you know, mate. Please don't. You are live on stream right now. Please don't say F or bugger. Welcome to the commentary box, mate. Yeah, me and Cos were just discussing your performance tonight. It looks like you qualified first, and I think, did you get a podium in the first race?
Second, I just gave it to Taha. I just took it steady because I had a reputation of spinning off, and I thought I'd just take it steady. And he had a bit more pace out of one corner and fair pass, to be fair.
Yeah, we actually captured that on stream now. That actually reminds me. Yeah, so
looking-
we saw Taha. So yeah, you were holding a good steady sort of 2 to 4 second gap back to Luca and Rodders, and potentially Bean. I think Bean was in there as well. And then obviously towards the end of the race, we saw that Taha had actually closed that gap and was actually challenging for first. What was going through your mind during that the interim where Taha was closing you down?
I'm not usually good at being chased down. I prefer to chase, and I'm pretty bad at looking in rear views and not concentrating on the track ahead. But staying on it and just staying in first, second was my priority there. It was good. I'm happy.
Yeah, and at second is nothing to turn your nose up, and you were respectful in your racing with Taha. You clearly had the pace to get around you, but you didn't let him have it. He had to work for it, and but at second is still a phenomenal performance, and it was only at the end of the final lap that he managed to pip you. Coming into the second race, then, so you would have been starting from 17th position, right at the back, and I believe you finished in fourth or fifth by the end.
Fourth, I think.
Oh,
yeah. So a very respectable fourth position then. So you managed to fight your way from 17th to fourth, and that is 13 positions. That must have been a hell of a race.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I got up to fifth and ended up dropping back to seventh. Taha, Orange came through. A lot of I wouldn't say deliberate bumping, but tight scraping, and a few people lost their lines. If they hadn't lost their lines, I don't think I'd have gained the places back, to be fair. It's that kind of car, that kind of track, that passing was always going to be tough.
Over to you, Cots. You got anything to say?
No, I think he's covered it already. Like I said to you, Hacks, Helmet would be pleased with that result. Very solid finishes there, especially in the second race, to come from the back and work your way up like Taha did. He was right at the back and he ended up fifth at one stage and then had off and was back at the back. So I'd say you're pleased with that.
Yeah, very. I stayed on and finished because that's the bonus for me, isn't it?
Yeah, and same with Rodders. He had an incident where he was doing quite well, then got spun out and ended up at the back, but he didn't give up. He just plodded on, gained a few more places.
Yeah,
so
I saw that unfold in front of me. It was really unlucky, and he lost a few places there, but he still got in there, didn't he, and finished.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Absolutely, yeah. He just carried on. He just continued his march forward and managed to get a semi decent result despite the calamity. And hats off to you, mate. From 17th to fourth, and obviously second in the first race, and qualifying on pole. So you've had a fantastic race tonight, and that's why we wanted to pull you in and give you the spotlight, as it were. So well done.
No, great, and credit to you guys. The commentary and that is really good to watch. Well done.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We do try, and a big thanks as well to Cos for coming along and being the +1 at very short notice. So thank you, Cos.
You're welcome, mate. Anything
well done,
for the
Cos.
club. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. So I really enjoyed that, Cos. I don't know about you, but that was fantastic.
I really enjoyed it. It was much better watching it and commentating than racing it, I'd say, because I would have just been kerfuffles all.
Absolutely. Well, it's just a pleasure to be involved with sim racing and racing in general. And this is an opportunity for you to sort of, not relax, hang up your helmet, as it were, and but still dig in and get involved. So,
I've got a lot to learn. I just popped my cherry there tonight in the commentary, and I realised I've got a lot to learn. I respect what Tiger did with his approach. He's very fastidious, and he'll get as much information about the circuit and the people, and he'll have a game plan. So it's not just, let's see what's going on here. He knows what he's doing, and that's a great inspiration. And it all adds to the club. And from a couple of years ago, we've progressed massively. As we're getting more professional and more sim-like.
Yeah, absolutely. And but it's all still good, just cool, calm, casual fun, but with a sort of an air of authenticity about it. I think that's what I like about the commentary and the cameras and the leagues and so on and so forth. It does add, to people that take part in these races and watch the streams, an air of authenticity that would normally be missing from a normal a public lobby, for example. So it's great to be able to bring that experience to the guys that are taking part in the race and viewers as well. But on that note, let's get this stream closed down and cleaned up then. So that was the final race in the NSUTTS Sunday Fun Day League, organised by our very own RWB Charger. So hats off to Charger. Thank you so much for putting this together, mate. And a big thanks to the stream team, the commentary guys, for giving me an opportunity to have a go and commentate on this for the club. I'm not sure what the results were, but I'm pretty sure that Luca has won the championship. So congratulations to Luca. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the results now in Discord. Luca's first with 276 points. Beer, 268 in second. Daniel L. O'Brien, 241 in third. Very good result. Helmet fourth with 240. Nige, 207 fifth. Orange sixth. Rick Billingsley seventh. Charger eighth. Rodders 10th. 9th. And Eric Bowman 10th. That's the top 10.
Excellent. So
very good.
Yeah, congratulations to all those guys, and a big shout out to obviously Luca
and everybody else who took part and made it special. It takes people to participate to make it an event, and we've had really good turnout for the Thursday events or the Sunday events and the Formula X. We're blessed really to have so many people wanting to race with us.
Absolutely, and obviously a big shout out to Tiger for organising the Game and Muscle VIP turn up as well. So the second race at Raceroom, Raceway, Bridge Layout, Game and Muscle turned up. We had a VIP in as well. So it's been an extra special league, this one. But starting next Sunday, so be there, be square. 21:30 British summer. Will it be British summer? It'll be Greenwich Meridian time, so the clocks are going back. It's the Sunday Fun Day Porsche GT3 League. That will be starting next week, next Sunday, and we'll be bringing some more action-packed Sunday Fun Day League racing, organised again by RWB Charger. So big shout out to him. But that about wraps it up. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching us race. Again, race clean, race fair, race for position, race RWB. He's been Cos.
He's been Hax.
Good night, everyone.
Good.